my name is Reggie Duvalsaint, and I'm trying to work in all 30 MLB and NFL parks as a vendor.
When did this start and why?
So, 2017, I got my start kind of by accident. I was on vacation at my parents' house in South Florida. Saw an ad on Craigslist saying, come work the All-Star game in Miami. So it was about, 2-3 days of work, and I wanted to go to the game anyway. So I responded to the ad. I went in, and they're like, hey, you're going to be a hot dog vendor for the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game. So did it. I did pretty well. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And immediately I'm like, when is the next gig coming up? So I was told it's going to be a regular season Marlins game on a Thursday. I did it. And let's say the All-Star game compared to Marlins, quite a difference. But like I said, I enjoyed the experience, and I just wanted to do more.
How many stadiums have you hit in the MLB and NFL?
So currently, I have 23 MLB stadiums done. I'm missing 7. And then for the NFL, I'm missing just 3.
Wow. So it's funny because in many ways, it's like the sports fan dream to hit every stadium in whatever their favorite league is. If you're a big baseball fan, hit every ballpark. Do you feel like, you're going for, you're completing a side quest here? Not only are you trying to hit every ballpark, you're trying to do something very specific in each 30.
Right. Like I said, it was one of those things where I started doing it, and then I quickly realized, I'm like, what would it actually take to work at every single one? You know what I mean? And I asked around. I know a lot of guys that do travel similar to what I do, but they're not really in it for the experience as much as it is for chasing, good events. Me, myself, I'm like, I actually want to see what it would take to work all 30.
How much do you make in a typical night?
Oh, you do pretty well. I can't complain. You know what I mean? The fans are really generous. Like I said, you're working primarily on gratuities. And like I said, the fans have really been good. So I have no complaints in that department.
So are you only selling hot dogs, or are you selling beer as well?
I do primarily beer now. Some venues, it depends on seniority. And a lot of times, if you're just coming in temporarily, you usually start at the bottom.
What makes a good vendor?
So, on a busy day, you just got to be able to carry as much as you can, be quick and efficient. And on a slower day, I like to think of myself as an entertainer. You know what I mean? You want to have fun with the fans. Just mix it up with them, have a good time, try to make it a memorable experience.
So if I'm sitting in my seat at Yankee Stadium and you're trying to get me to buy a beer and I'm watching the game, what would what would you say to get me to buy a beer?
Well, like I said, you got to be creative. You got to have some jokes. I mean, if somebody's down there and wants a beer, you got to get their attention, number one. Sometimes I'll pop up and say, something random. I'll be like, hey, hi, my name is Reggie. I'll be your server for the next 30 seconds. If you're interested, I got you. Just, something that catches them off guard, that gets them to pay attention to you. Give them a good laugh. And some of the fans are like, you know what? Maybe I didn't want one, but you're good. I'm going to get one from you.
I love that. What's your favorite MLB ballpark you've been to and your favorite NFL stadium you've been to?
Favorite MLB, aesthetically, it's got to be Petco.
Okay.
Petco rose to the number 1 spot. For NFL, I would say Lambeau has the history. I love Lambeau for that reason.
Yeah, that's not one of the newer stadiums, and that's old, and there's a lot of steps, and good for you. Which MLB stadiums do you still have to hit? And do you think you're going to do it all this year?
Okay, so I am missing 7, which is the Yankees, Red Sox, Twins, Brewers, White Sox, Cincinnati Reds, and the most difficult probably going to be Toronto.
You're going to have to get that international work visa.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. Got to figure out, may need a sponsor to get a visa. Hopefully by that point, if I have 29 done, the story gets enough traction, hopefully somebody can help me get into Toronto.
But if you only have 3 NFL stadiums left, that feels doable for next season.
It does, yeah, it does. So I'm just missing for the NFL, Buffalo Bills, Minnesota Vikings, and the Arizona Cardinals.
Something tells me that Buffalo Bill fans will buy a lot of beer.
Just a sneaky suspicion, right?
So I read that you, even more than games, love being a vendor at concerts. Tell me about that.
That's right. So actually today, I'm actually in Atlanta for a concert at Truist Park, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It should be great. So here today, and then actually tomorrow I have the opportunity to work the Field of Dreams, which is awesome. I guess another ballpark check that off my list, which will be 31.
Field of Dreams. That's a bucket list item. That's going to be incredible.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure what to expect, you know what I mean? But I am very excited for it.
Once you complete this mission, if you will, 30 ballparks, 30 stadiums, how are you going to celebrate that? That's a huge thing that you've been working towards for the last couple of years.
Absolutely. Well, I'm still thinking about what I want to do exactly, but I think the key is that even once I do hit the goal, I still enjoy doing this. So I think I may not do it at the same pace that I'm doing it currently, but I still do enjoy vending ultimately, and it's just something about it. It gives you it's a rush, it's a thrill, just being there with the fans, especially for the bigger games, the playoff games. Something about it. So I'm looking forward to it.
When it's a big game or a big moment, do you find, can you stop and be like, all right, I need to watch this at bat? Or are you just thinking, hey, I need to push as many of these beers as possible?
When it comes to selling alcohol, the beauty is alcohol usually cuts off a little bit early. So in baseball, the end of the 7th inning,
right?
Basketball, football, end of the 3rd quarter. So if there's any key crucial moments at the end of the game, I switched over and became a fan at that point.
I assume you're a huge sports fan, considering you're doing this whole journey, and someone who isn't a huge sports fan wouldn't do this. What are your favorite teams?
For MLB, definitely the Phillies. Huge Phillies fan, even though I am wearing a Braves hat right now.
Shame.
I know. Go Phillies. I hope Bryce Harper gets healthy and joins them for that run. They've got a playoff spot right now. I'm hoping to see how far they take it. NFL, I'm actually a huge Bills fan. Grew up a Bills fan. I grew up in upstate New York. Bills fan at heart, so it kind of pains me that I'm missing that one, but I'm working actively to get there this year.
What's one great story that you've had from this journey?
Good question. So I guess my favorite thing had to be my second day on the job ever vending, Marlins Park, the All-Star game. I was working the seats, and the OxyClean man, Anthony Sullivan, came up behind me. He says, "Hey, I love what you're doing. Can I give you a hand in pitching these hot dogs?" And sure enough, he came right next to me, came right behind me, gave me some support, and he said, "Buy these hot dogs from this gentleman here."
On your second day on the job?
On my second day vending. Anthony Sullivan for the new hot dog man here. Never forget that, gave me some confidence. Haven't looked back since. So shout out to Anthony Sullivan. Great guy.
Shout out Anthony Sullivan. Is there anything that I missed that if someone either wanted to get into doing this or wouldn't know about vendors, like, fill in the cracks with me here. What are like your closing thoughts on this journey of yours?
We really appreciate doing this job, especially after 2020 and 2021, because 2020 with the complete shutdown, 2021 limited capacity, vendors weren't exactly back in the picture until late 2021. So I mean that year and a half away from the game really puts it into perspective. And when I first came back into the seats, for example, with the Phillies, we started, I want to say, in June 2021. So those first couple months where fans were in the seats without the vendors, when I got back into the seats, the fans were really, really appreciative. They said, "Hey, we really missed you guys. It's not a baseball game. It doesn't feel like, a stadium experience without you guys in the seats." So that 18 months away from the game really, really, really set a lasting impact on the fans. And you feel it. So I felt welcome back.
Reggie, this has been awesome, man. I've always wanted to talk to more in depth with a vendor, and someone who's on this journey that you're on is really awesome. What's your Instagram, by the way?
My Instagram is Reggie89. I'm working on creating a better handle, so something more relevant, I suppose. But currently it is Reggie89.
Reggie, this has been awesome. Thank you for swinging by, and good luck at the Chili Peppers concert tonight.
Thank you, Alex. Always a pleasure. Hope to hear from you soon, all right?
Appreciate it. Have a good one, man.